Laquan, who's coming in, fine, actually. Not 100%. Hunter, can you describe to me what you were sharing with the group? Loud, proud, teacher voice, bulldog determination, bring that big beat.
So the only thing I'm getting 100% cooperation on is when they walk in, they greet us the way we want them to greet us, they put their backpacks down, and they get to their seats. The expectation is that when they get to their seats, they start working on their do now. It's written clearly on their guided notes worksheet. It's also on the board. 80% of them will start writing, but for the other 20% that will not start writing unless I put the pencil in their hand. Even then, it's difficult to get them to write. So,
how does that feel?
It's starting to get frustrating. I wish I had a way to motivate them a little more, to have that expectation a little more clear and have them care a little more about my expectation.
My grandma, as wonderful and awesome as she is, okay, and I asked you guys this question before. She calls me and she nags me about eating dinner at 10 o'clock at night. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm eating dinner, Grandma. I gotta go. I gotta eat dinner. She's like, at 10 o'clock at night? She's like, that's not a dinner time. You need to eat dinner at 6 o'clock. That's when we eat dinner. And then every single time, I hear the same thing again and again and again. And I'm like, Grandma, don't you get tired of telling me this? Yes! Okay. I've done it. I have nagged students, okay? But we can't be in the business of nagging students. Okay? It loses its appeal. Okay? Students begin to all of a sudden hear you as in the Charlie Brown montage of when he hears adults, what does he hear? Okay? And all of a sudden, because you're saying the same thing every single day, again and again and again, it loses its umph. So we have to think about new ways that we can get our point across. Which brings me into proactive prevention. Okay. Yes, Ryan, that is right. Okay. Almost all, I should say, almost. Student behavior can be proactively prevented through, yes, you know it, teacher voice. And no nonsense nurture, okay? We gotta think about that teacher voice, we gotta practice that teacher voice, we gotta own that teacher voice. But even just as powerful as a teacher voice is, and you know it, you've seen it before, the teacher look. Okay. Okay. How many people here have a grandma, grandpa, mom, or dad that look? Oh, people already know where I'm going with this. So like, oh God, don't do it. No. Ah. Right. Have that look that when you're doing something wrong, you get it. It's like laser beams in the back of your head. Okay. Ha. Picture that look right now. Close your eyes. Picture it. I'm doing it. Okay. Now open your eyes. Now, how can you learn to recreate that? I'm not asking you to scare students. Maybe a little bit, but not really. What you're trying to do is to send a message without nagging. Okay, so I got 2 teacher looks. Okay, it's what my students do, and it's so funny. At the end of the year, they do teacher impersonations, and they actually impersonate me doing this teacher look. And so I'll be at the board, and maybe it's the intro to new material, maybe it's a very engaging intro to new material. Remember we just had that session? It was supposed to be fun. Okay. And so I'm writing at the board, okay, and it's really engaging, okay, about thriller maybe, and I'm going through, and I'm talking, I'm delivering the content, and all of a sudden, Allie starts talking. Okay, she has a side conversation. And I'm writing, I do one of these. Allie, as you can, eyes are up here. What's the difference for taking away from the community? Let's go. And I keep going, okay? Laser-like, okay? Lightning fast rationale that connects to the values of the classroom, but the teacher look set it off. Okay? She stopped what she was doing immediately when I gave her the look. Now, there's also going to be instances where the breach is a little bit greater than just a simple side conversation, and the teacher look is going to be a little bit. And for that teacher look, I get a little bit more serious. That's when the chair comes out. I sit down, real calm. And the glasses come off. Mr. Delhagen does not like what he is seeing right now. Can everyone pause what they're doing? Repeat the expectations for the class. And then I would go from there. But like that's like slow down teacher. And that's the one that it's like to impersonate. You're like, oh God, not the glasses! Oh God! Okay. But it sends the message, without even saying anything, that, yo, shit's not how it's supposed to be. Okay? How do I need to rework this? How do I need to stop? And it also gives me a moment to like re-ground myself and like calm down and try and figure out what it is I actually want students to be doing at that moment. Okay? Proactive prevention also includes being consistent around behavior management cycles. And today we are going to go back into the BMC and we are going to revisit each step, and we're going to do that by looking at a video clip. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds, and we're going to look at it 3 times. And so it's 1 minute, 20 seconds, we're going to look at it 3 times, and each time we look at it, we're going to put on different glasses to look at it through. First one being explicit directions, the second one being narration, and the third one being, yes, your friend and mine, corrective action. Okay. So, anybody seen Lost? Okay. Seriously? Everyone seen Lost? Okay, so look, he's like, yeah, okay, I've seen it. I am not a science fiction guy at all, but like, for some reason, my wife and I got really into Lost. Like, this is like last year. He's like, because it's awesome. Okay. From my observations here at Gompers and at Markham, what I am seeing is this. Okay? I am seeing teachers tell students what they want them to do, but not how to do them. And so I'm seeing this. I want you to come in quietly. I want you to work on your independent practice quietly. I want you to work with a partner on this worksheet. I want you to be listening. How? I actually don't know what you mean when you say that. And so if you want to be quiet, paint a picture that you know exactly what quiet sounds like. Hunter, I want us talking on level 2 voice. What does a level 2 voice sound like, Hunter? Before you begin, I want everyone to turn, track Hunter, and open your ears to Hunter so you know exactly what a level 2's voice sounds like. The only way we can move on with this activity is that we all know what a level 2 voice sounds like. Please turn and track Hunter, please.
Oh my God.
Hunter, go ahead. Everyone, hold your ear. You gotta be able to hear. Hunter, can you pause for a minute? Hunter? Because that was absolutely perfect. Mr. Underwood, do you know what a level 2 voice sounds like? Can we do one more check for understanding? Everyone turn, track Mr. Underwood. Mr. Underwood. Perfect, perfect. And why are we going to use a level 2 voice when we turn to partner work? Mr. Underwood, can you give us a little rationale for that? Loud and proud, please, so we can all hear you. Not at level 2, but more like a level 6. Go ahead, teach your voice.
Because if we're at a level 6 voice like this, we might distract the other community members from their level 2 discussion.
Yeah, and that'd be cray-cray, so we're not going to do that. Okay. Alright. And what did I do here? I always will throw in a little check for understanding. Okay, and I did that twice. And it was student to student. Yes, they were talking, I was posing the questions, but I was holding other students accountable based on another student's actions. Okay. Helpful tips for beginning teachers here. Boom. Start with a verb. I find that sometimes helps. Play with the MVP order. Movement, verbal, participation. I like to start with verbal because I tend to forget that. Okay? And so I'll say, all right, what is it? I'm thinking in my head what I want the next thing to happen in the classroom is, how would I want that to sound? I want that to sound quietly. How quietly at level 2 voice? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I need everyone to pause. Okay. Put your bulldog pause. Okay. Excellent. So for this next activity, I want it to be at a level 2 voice. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to do this. Okay, how do I want you to do it? I want you to do it this way. And so play with the order on that a little bit. You may find that it may be more authentic for you to start with giving the verbal expectations first. Use the same cue every time. Does anybody remember what my cue is? See, I have a hand in the air. I'm looking for a hand. I'm looking for a hand. Does anybody remember what my cue is in class? Yes, please, loud, proud. What's your voice?
Boom shakalaka.
Laka, that's right. That's right, girlfriend. High five from a distance. Psh, stinger. Whew, nice. Think through transitions. Anytime you transition your students, and I'm not just talking about transitioning from like one class or one teacher to the next, or nutrition and adding nutrition, dismissal, entry, not just those, but anytime you make a transition between activities in class, or even parts of a lesson plan, what do you want that to look like? How do you want that to sound? Explicit directions. It's going to give students the emotional, the physical, and the mental space to get it done in the classroom. All right. We're going to analyze Ben now, okay? Ben, get it? It's Ben Affleck. We're not going to watch Ben Affleck, but this teacher's name is Ben, and I thought that was funny. Obviously it wasn't. Okay, so as you watch, see, I got to entertain myself through these things as well. Okay, as we watch, I want you to look for what he does for MVP directions. And I actually want you to write down where does he give movement directions, where does he give verbal directions, and participation directions. And then I want you to now to take off your teacher hat and put on your student hat. And I want you to think about how might it feel to be a student in the classroom, and more specifically even than that, how does it feel to be David in the classroom? And David, you're like, well, how do I know who David is? David is the student in the blue polo. And I want you to watch for him, and then I want you to record down what it might feel like to be him in the classroom. I see pens and hands, I see game faces. Let me see that bulldog determination in your eyes. Let me see it. Whoa, chill.